right, guys, good morning, Grenada. It's your boy, Troy Gill, and of course, you know how we do it. Welcome to Rise and Shine. We have lots of great content, lots of great information coming your way, so don't go anywhere. But of course, you know, we want to start with this morning's fitness to get you pumped and ready for today. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
At Grenlec, we are committed to serving our customers. To help us serve you even better, please make an appointment for all non-payment services. Email customer support at grenlec.com. WhatsApp 405-6...
Created for you. Contact MTV Marketing Department for details and book it on 440-8171, 405-5718 or mtvmarketinggd@gmail.com. Book early and bring cheer to families for Christmas. Terms and conditions apply.
Who needs a plan? Take my hand. Our stories will find us. My Shandy Caravan. And there's nowhere that I'd rather be than any place with you. My Shandy Caravan. And there's nowhere that I'd rather be than any place with you.
Shandy Caravan. Refreshed for life.
All businesses start small and grow into successful corporations. With a strong team, you can have a strong business. Protect the employees that stand by you with Beacon's Be Better Group Health Plan. It's a customizable and affordable health plan for smaller businesses that offers many of the benefits of a large corporate plan. Call us at 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt for more info today.
Hello everyone, it's your boy Troy Gill, all right? And today I'm going to be taking you through a series of exercises, all right? About 3 sets of a superset, all right? To get your midsection in shape, all right, guys? To get you pumped and ready for today, all right? So this is an exercise that you can incorporate into your daily routine, all right, guys? So let's get ready, let's go, all right? So we're going to be focusing on the core today. We're going to be focusing on the midsection. But first of all, we want to get into an active rest. All right, guys, to get your blood flowing, get your heart pumping. All right, so you can get ready for today's workout. All right, guys, so lift those knees, move those hands. All right, guys, we're getting warmed up. All right, this is what you call active rest. So you're not doing the exercise, all right, guys, but you're just getting warmed up. All right, getting warmed up and ready for the first set. All right, guys. Right, so follow me as we go along. So we're gonna get right to it. All right, guys, I want you to put your hand on your temple, right? Send that leg back, and you're doing a standing crunch alternating. All right, guys, ready? Let's go. 1, 2, nice and easy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we switch. Let's go. 1, 2, control. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Right. Your core muscles. All right, guys. Hands on the temple again. One hand on your waist, and you lift up. 1, lift those knees. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, nice and easy. 8, 9, 10. All right, so you make that switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Good job, guys. Final set. All right. Final set in the first round. All right, guys. Ready? So you're working the obliques now. All right. Let's go. 1, small movement. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job, guys, if you're following me. Switch. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice and controlled. 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. 10. Woo! Good job, guys. If you are following, now we are back into what we call active rest. All right, because you want to burn as much calories as possible. All right, guys, and remember to keep your water bottle nearby so you can take a sip of water. All right, guys, and we're moving. All right, guys, so this is what you call active rest, right? Because you want to burn some calories, you want to get that sweat going. As they say, you don't want to get cold. All right, guys, good job, guys. So we're going into the second round. All right, you guys ready? All right, let's go. 1, 2, nice and controlled. 3, make sure you're crunching. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. 10. Good job, guys. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. So that was the alternating crunch. All right. Next set of crunches. Let's go, guys. 1, nice and easy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. 10. Woo! Good job, guys, if you are following. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go. 8, 9. Come on. 10. Woo! Good job, guys, if you are following. Final set, right, in the second round. Let's go. 1, 2, nice and controlled. 3, you're supposed to be feeling it right here. 4, 5, on your oblique. 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. 10. Right, so we're targeting that, as they say, the muffin top. All right, let's go. 1, come on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Good job, guys, if you are following. So we are back into a state of active rest. All right, guys, so we're moving. Remember to keep those knees moving, lift those knees, move those arms. All right, guys. Woo! So we are approaching the final set, guys. Hope you've been following. All right, and remember, it's important to drink your water in and between sets. All right, guys, so we're going into the final set, guys. You guys ready? All right, let's go. Final set. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, nice and easy. 5, control. 6, come on. 7, let's go. 8, 9, 10. Good. Alternating standing crunch. Let's go. Next side. 1, 2, come on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. 10. Woo! Good job, guys, if you're following. All right, second set in the final round. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, come on, 5, 6, 7, come on, 8, 9, one more, 10. Woo! Then we switch. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come on, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, 10. Woo! Good job, guys. All right, so the final set, the final round. All right, let's make it count. All right, ready, guys? Let's 1, 2, nice and controlled. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, come on, 8, 9, one more, 10. Woo! All right, and we're gonna finish it off now. All right, guys, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come on, muffin top. 6, 8, 9, 10. Good job, guys. If you were following, you made it to the end of the routine. Right, guys? And I just want to encourage you this morning, don't give up. All right, guys? No matter what, every single day, you do some form of physical activity, and it's going to go a long way, guys. All right, guys? I also want to encourage you to drink your water. Make water your #1 beverage, guys. It's really important to stay hydrated. And I also want to encourage you to make healthy choices today, right, for the rest of the week. All right, remember to make healthy choices. Eat healthy, because your life, your health depends on it. All right, guys, so we're gonna do a simple stretch just to warm down a little bit, right? Send the knees back. You reach down, as far down as you can go, wherever it is that you can reach. You hold that stretch, hold it, hold it down as you reach. Right, guys, and back. Nice. Good job, guys. I want you to interlock your fingers. You step out, you stretch up to the sky, all the way up and down. Woo! Next side, interlock your fingers, you reach up and back down. Woo! Good job, guys. If you were following, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. All right, guys, stay tuned to Rise and Shine. We've got a lot more content, great information coming your way. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Rise and shine.
Tony Julian with the details. Now, they have been at home for some months. Some have even been on the streets, places we'd not like them to be. But today the process of in-class learning has commenced. And while some would like to see a greater percentage of children back in the classroom, it's a start that's greatly appreciated. Donella Hostin begins this evening's news coverage with news on the commencement of the phased reopening of school.
The government recently announced that some schools would be opening their doors using a phased approach, commencing with students who were unable to access their classes online. And on Monday, November 1st, the MTV News team took its cameras to the east of the island just to take a peek into the classrooms in a few different schools, both primary and secondary. Small numbers of students were seen in classrooms with their teachers, parents, and principals. Although hesitant to speak to the news team on camera, one teacher said there were only some students from Forms 1 and 2 in at the time. Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Hostin.
Deacon Mitchell will lead the National Democratic Congress NDC into the next general election after being appointed political leader at the party's virtual convention Sunday. Devin Andrew is now the new party chairman, but let's get more on the newly appointed executive in this report.
Mere days after being officially inducted as a member of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Deacon Mitchell has been elected by the NDC delegates during Sunday's virtual convention to lead the party. During his victory presentation, the young lawyer, who amassed a total of 277 votes, said the NDC is ready and able to transform Grenada. Mitchell reminded his political comrades that they have chosen unity over disunity, sending the message that the NDC is back again on the road to hope.
National Democratic Congress is once more on the path of inspiring hope and belief in our people and in our nation. That the National Democratic Congress is once more on the path of beginning the process of creating a sustainable and brighter future for our young, vibrant, creative, and innovative population. You have made a decision for and about the future of the National Democratic Congress. You have chosen unity over disunity. You have chosen resilience, flexibility, inclusiveness, and strength over infighting, weakness, vacillation, or wish-washiness.
Mitchell said to the NDC delegates that their collective duty is to persuade the people that NDC is ready and able to transform the country. He sent special thanks to outgoing General Secretary Glenn Noel, who, according to him, has been a strong pillar throughout.
I want to take the opportunity to address Mr. Noel directly and to thank him, because in many of the conversations I had with him before, he has demonstrated today what real leadership is about. He stepped aside and allowed others to offer themselves for service in circumstances where he could have remained.
The rest of the new executive was elected on Sunday, with Tevin Andrew, caretaker for Carriacou and Petite Martinique, chosen as chairman, Sylvester Qualis as deputy chairman, and Adrian Thomas, who was the interim leader following the resignation of Franca Bernardine in 2020, is now the deputy political leader. Larry Barry is now General Secretary, taking over from Glenn Noel, who did not vie for the position. Assistant General Secretaries are Raquelson Scott, Belinda Charles, and Ron Redhead. Public Relations Officer is Orlando Romaine, while Randall Robinson is the Assistant PRO. Andrea Sen-Bernard is now the Treasurer, Cindy Herry, the Recording Secretary, Teresha Fortune, Assistant Recording Secretary, and Andre Charles for Labor Relations. Floor members are Garvin Pear, Elwin McQuilkin, and Lennox Andrews. Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Hostin.
Employers usually require experience for the candidate to get the job, but just how does one get experience without getting the actual job? Well, in the case of Deacon Mitchell, you may say that he's a newcomer to the political arena who is now at the helm of the National Democratic Congress. The question of experience in politics, that comes to the fore, but we may say politics is about people, so does he have experience with people? Here's the perspective of former Prime Minister Tillman Thomas on the election of Mitchell to lead the NDC.
Former political leader of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Tillman Thomas, says he is pleased with the election of the new executive as they bring a sense of hope. According to the former leader, this new executive has a generational mix that is necessary to revitalize the party, and he believes that Dickon Mitchell is the ideal leader to take the party forward.
I believe that an executive was elected, an executive I believe that going to really revitalize the party and to take the party forward. Each generation must provide leadership, and I believe Dickon Mitchell is the ideal leader at this time to take the party forward.
He noted too that with this mixture of generations, this is a good thing, as the older heads will be there to help guide the party forward.
Generational mix is, there's no difficulty there. This is an executive of the party, the generation mix. You have people like Adrian Pursuta Thomas there. You have Sylvester Quallis. You have Larry Barry, who has been around for a very long time. This is the executive ready to get the party organized, to articulate the aims, the vision, and to organize the party. But I see it as a very good blend. And we are there, we the senior members of NDC, we could help from behind. We don't have to be in the forefront.
Speaking on Tevin Andrews' appointment as chairman of the NDC, the former leader said Tevin's ability should not be underestimated because of his age.
We grow and learn. Tevin Andrews could learn in that position and become a very vibrant person. He's very committed to politics. He's very outspoken. You see, sometimes we underestimate people by the age. We cannot always hold on to tradition, because historically elderly people have been taking that office of chairmanship. That doesn't mean we have to continue with it. We have to change and we have to move forward. Whatever is going to enhance and benefit the organization, we should embrace it and forge ahead.
Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Houston.
Attorney-at-law Anselm Clouden, who's representing murder-accused Calvin Frank, gave an update on his client's case. 33-year-old Frank from Springs in St. George was charged with the killing of 38-year-old food vendor Lindy Skinner Moraine of Jean Anglais. That was back on the 7th of June 2021. Here is Nikita Houston with that story.
Attorney for murder-accused Calvin Frank, Anselm Clouden, says they are now awaiting disclosure from the prosecution on his client's case. Frank is accused of killing his former girlfriend, Lindy Skinner Moraine, a vendor of John Anglais, on June 7th. He was arrested and officially charged by officers attached to the Criminal Investigation Department on June 9th, after being detained for questioning in the killing.
Only this morning, I had the occasion to speak with the prosecutor, the police prosecutor, because the matter is Commissioner of Police versus Calvin Frank. They were supposed to have given disclosure when the matter came up last week for hearing. Disclosure was promised. So I've had confirmed a commitment from the prosecutor that by tomorrow we will get full disclosure of the prosecution's file. And it is at that stage the preliminary inquiry would be able to proceed. Without disclosure, they can't proceed. So we are anxious to get the preliminary inquiry going, and that's where we are.
Clouden says his client is due back in court this week and believes he is fit to face the court. However, his mental state is to be evaluated by a psychiatrist.
The next court date, I think, is about the 4th of November or thereabout, yes. So that we see where we go from there. That was done, and there again, I'm awaiting disclosure, but to the best of my knowledge, information, he's sound of sound mind. He has no mental impediment. We have to await how the psychiatrist has made his analysis of his pre-offense mental disposition and post offense mental disposition, which would determine whether he's fit to plea or fit for trial.
Frank is also represented by attorney Jerry Edwin. Nikita Hostin, MTV News.
In another development, an attorney-at-law is on a campaign to have corporal punishment removed from the law books. According to Jerry Edwin, this has become necessary considering that incarcerated affected by this law have been complaining about the negative effect that this move has had on them.
Attorney Jerry Edwin says Grenada is the only country in the Western Hemisphere that still has corporal punishment on its law books.
Grenada is alone in saying that it is okay, it is normal, it is acceptable to treat our citizens in the most barbaric fashion when we punish them. Here is a pen. Dr. Mitchell, take it. Draw a line through flogging and say we will not do this.
This kind of punishment, which includes flogging, Edwin says, is too harsh.
Our very Constitution speaks about avoiding cruel and degrading punishment. Tell me what is more cruel and degrading. By getting a whip. I have clients, male clients, whose testicles are permanently damaged, who cannot have children. This is a barbaric practice that must be stopped.
With the installment of Deacon Mitchell as the head of the NDC, he is also calling on his learned colleague to take up the mantle and remove this punishment from the books.
Mr. Mitchell, take a pen if and when you get to the Botanic Gardens. But don't wait. Let your conscience speak now. Tell us that when you get there, you too will draw a pen and stop flogging. Let's get that off our books.
Parliament members, he said, should also play their role and think about the negative effects this form of punishment is having on young men. He says the men affected are not those who engage in vicious crimes, such as pedophilia or fraud. Therefore, this punishment is not right.
We have a solution to fix this, and I urge our Parliament. There are 15 members of Parliament. It does not get any better than that. Because the kind of offense for which we flog is not fraud. It is not money laundering. It is not breach of trust. It is not even pedophilia.
For MTV News, Rachel Bean.
And this time we turn to the St. Andrew Development Organization, SADO, in collaboration with the St. Andrew Bikeaholics Club. They brought the curtains down on this year's Breast Cancer Awareness Month on Saturday by visiting survivors. And in their effort to continue raising awareness for breast cancer, the public was encouraged to wear pink last Friday, dubbed Pink Friday. The team visited over 15 survivors, bringing them small tokens from Bikeaholics, SADO, Maria's Kitchen, Springside Enterprise, Douglas Farms, Living Essentials, Williams CMOS, and Nikisha Noel. All proceeds from Pink Friday t-shirt sales will be donated to Vanessa Sanderson of Subi St. Andrew, who is the latest and youngest breast cancer survivor. The proceeds will aid in her medical trip, which she'll take this month to treat the cancer. The theme used for Breast Cancer Awareness Month 2021 was Rise, Rally, in supporting, serving and screening everyone, which encourages women to go for mammogram screening and to raise breast cancer awareness with the support of their respective families and friends. That would be, of course, to overcome fear, anxiety and uncertainty. Breast cancer remains the leading cancer among women and the primary cause of mortality. Well, November is also National Diabetes Month, a time when communities across the country team up to bring attention to diabetes. This year's focus is on pre-diabetes and preventing diabetes, but we get more on it from Nikita Hostin.
Diabetes awareness will be heightened in November, which is designated as National Diabetes Month. Organizers say this year the focus will be on pre-diabetes and preventing diabetes. The theme for World Diabetes Day 2021 to 2023, celebrated on November 14th, is access to diabetes care, if not now, when. Past president of the Grenada Diabetes Association, Mr. Alistair Antoine, elaborates on the theme.
And millions of people with diabetes around the world do not have access to diabetes care. 100 years after the discovery of insulin is a good time to bring this thing to the fore, because whether you want to accept it or not, diabetes is a pandemic. It's pandemic because several countries throughout the world are affected. In fact, over 463 million persons, that is 1 in about 11, are living with diabetes.
People with diabetes require ongoing care and support to manage their conditions and avoid complications. Mr. Antoine says access to care for patients has been a challenge.
When we're talking about access, right, we speaking about access to insulin, which was in place over about 100 years now. And because before insulin was discovered, persons with type 1 diabetes, they didn't stand a chance. They might survive for a few months or maybe a year, but then they just died. So there was no hope for them. Diabetes was a death sentence, but now it is different. So we're talking about access to insulin and also access to oral medication.
Mm-hmm. President of the Grenada Diabetes Association is Ms. Rosalind Alexis.
While the Ministry of Health is doing what they can, and then you have, different sectors, there is something we call self-management. You have a chronic condition, and in some cases it's not only the diabetes, but some persons will have diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and some of them, chronic conditions. So,
according to WHO, about 422 million people worldwide have diabetes, the majority living in low and middle income countries, and 1.5 million deaths are directly attributed to diabetes each year. But the number of cases and the prevalence of diabetes have been steadily increasing over the past few decades. Nikita Hostin, MTV News.
Good morning and welcome to this Rise and Shine here on Magic FM and MTV for today, Tuesday. It's the second day of the penultimate month of the year. It's a new month, a new day, hope, new life, and of course with it, it means that we have another chance to make a difference. And today it's a pleasure to be here with you, your host, Marcelin Crosby, and we are looking forward to sharing so much with you today. It is, as we said, a new month. What does this mean? Today it is also All Saints, no, All Souls. Yesterday was All Saints. Today it's All Souls, when we get to remember those who have passed, our family members and friends who have gone to the great beyond. It's a day when it's tradition, the Asham, and of course we get to go to the cemetery. Some people did so last night, or lit their candles on their verandas or in their homes, remembering the souls that have passed. And we have lost so many people recently in this raging pandemic, and I know it will be a very somber time for many, in addition to those whom we have lost before. But as we remember them, let their memories comfort us as we go through this time. As we say, it is also, so when we do, it is also a time for reflection. And if we were to listen to our religious leaders, it is not just about remembering them, but it is also a time for us to do our own introspection. We have been through a lot for this year. And as we conclude, it's what happens around this time of year. You wrap up the year, you try to do a review of your year. What have you done? What has gone your way? What was challenging? And proposed solutions, recommendations as to how you can fix, how we can remedy these things moving forward. So, as we do every morning, we help you with the planning of your day with the weather report, and that will not be any different this morning. We go over to the Met Office to find out what's happening with the weather. Good morning. I believe we seem to have...
Good morning to you, the listeners of MTV. And here's weather for today, Tuesday, the 2nd November, 2021. Currently, the weather point Saline is PM. Winds are from the east at 12 miles per hour. Barometric pressure, 12.8 millibars. That's below normal and rising. Present temperature, 27.1 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity, 79%. And no rainfall was recorded over the past 24 hours. Hence, the total for the month remains at 0.6 millimeters. And now to have a look at the forecast value for today and tonight. Today we expect some generally fair conditions with a low chance of isolated afternoon showers. Maximum temperature 31 degrees Celsius. Winds east northeasterly to easterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Seas light to moderate, waves up to 5 feet in open waters. Tides are currently rising, high at 12:30 p.m. and low at 7 p.m. Sunset today at 5:42, rises more at 6:01. Just a repeat of the forecast, value for today and tonight. Generally fair with a low chance of isolated afternoon showers. Maximum temperature 31 degrees Celsius. I'm Andre Charles, report for the Met Office. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that was the Met Office, our forecasters down at the Met Office sharing today's weather forecast. It's supposed to be, from all indications, going to be a hot day. Let's be prepared for that. Take advantage of it. Be outside, but also remember that we do have some contaminants in the air. We still look a little hazy, so the people with respiratory challenges, please be mindful of this and take every precautionary measure. And that is, wear your mask. Ensure that you have enough of your medications on hand. Make sure you have your doctor on call just in case you need. And if you don't need to be outside, please try to stay indoors as much as possible. The tips or the advice given from our medical personnel for people with compromised respiratory systems, as we have so many contaminants in the air, it still look a bit blue, it's different, and as information shared before, it's a combination of dust and volcanic ash. So let us be mindful of this as we move around today. Be cautious. Do all that we need to do to ensure that we are safe. Remember, the need now, the pandemic and everything else that's happening, the fact that we are also living within the hurricane season, it's a constant reminder that it is always important to always be prepared. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we speak census.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
The Christmas holiday season is weeks away, and MTV, along with Magic FM, is providing advertising rates, programs, and special deals for businesses. Let us help you boost your products, services, and Christmas specials. Don't have an advert? Don't stress. We can create it for you. Contact MTV Marketing Department for details and book it on 440-8171, 405-5718 or mtvmarketinggd@gmail.com. Book early and bring cheer to families for Christmas. Terms and conditions apply.
Rise and shine.
welcome back. So as indicated before we went on the break, this morning we're talking the national census. And today our first guest is the director of the Statistics Department, Mr. Halim Brazan. Mr. Brazan, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Oslin. It's a pleasure to be here, and good morning to all viewers.
It is our pleasure to have you. The last time we were here, we were speaking about preparation for the national census. Now we're talking that activities actually began yesterday. We had to push back the date because of the spike in cases that we had earlier on this year. The census should have started September 15th, I believe was our first date. And then we move now to November 1st. So you can update us.
Yes, so it has been very challenging for us in planning this census, and persons would appreciate that this is the first census we ever had to do in the midst of a pandemic. So it means that the situation is so fluid, and we have to be very adaptable to those challenges that come our way, right? So in fact, we had to revise our processes so that we can propose a safer way for enumerating the population. So we now have the option of computer-assisted telephone interviewing, right? Which is an option for persons who may prefer that mode, right? But we would still have to go out into the field, door to door, house to house, to collect those telephone numbers. The difference is that we are trying as much as possible to minimize the face-to-face contact, right? So there'll be the activities that will start from next week. So the official start date for going out into the field would be the 10th of November, and the enumerators will start by collecting basic information from the house, including the telephone numbers, and doing a complete listing of each enumeration district. Now, this week, we are doing some preparatory work. We have to do some retraining, because you would appreciate that the last training was done since August, September. So we need to do this refresher training to ensure that the staff, the census staff, have an understanding of the concepts and definition and the methodology for undertaking the census, because this is important for us to ensure a quality census is done, right? Because they are the ones who are collecting the information. So we need to place a lot of emphasis. Also, we'll be doing some additional training in terms of using the platform, because as you know, it is an electronic census, right? This is our first digital census. So we need to ensure that the enumerators and supervisors, they have specific roles with regards to the use of that platform. So we need to ensure that they understand this. So we'll be distributing the tablets and so that they'll be using, and we'll be looking to sign in contracts in the upcoming days, and also secrecy oaths, right? Now the secrecy oaths is very, very important, and this is as I normally say, this is our the hallmark of our profession as statisticians. Confidentiality is critical. So I just want to assure the public that the information collected will be highly, highly confidential, and our law prohibits us from disclosing any the identity of any of the respondents. So information cannot be disseminated in a way to disclose the identity of any information of any respondents. Sorry.
What's happening this week and next week? So we have training this week, and next week we actually start the collection, the listings, which is the basic information, and getting the telephone numbers, and it will also include some interviews. Not much, because we know we have to adhere to the protocols. Mr. Brazan, I'm seeing an interview would be within almost an hour, 45 to 60 minutes, because you need the information. What are your foreseen challenges in getting people to cooperate via phone? Because we know that everything now, yes, it's virtual, and it's almost as if everybody's trying to do so many things at the same time. Come January, when you actually start the interviewing process of the census, what are some of the challenges that you foresee, and how do you plan to mitigate them?
Okay, so the telephone interviewing is a challenge for us. We have tried it because we have done surveys using that platform, and our experience was not bad, right? It was reasonably okay. Persons responded, persons understood the times that we are in and the need for us to do things differently. And we are appealing to the public to cooperate with us. It's not a census doesn't happen every year, right? It's only every 10 years, and it is the only opportunity where everyone can where we hear the voices, the perspective of everyone in terms of what is happening with them, and also with their households, so that so we can identify the issues that that persons are dealing with in a comprehensive way, right? So yes, the length of the interview is would be challenging for some, but we appealing to persons to please cooperate, because the Central Statistical Office cannot do a census on its own. It is a national undertaking. And that is why we say our motto is count us, because we want persons to see themselves equally as a part of this process, just as us at the Central Statistical Office. We are the office responsible for coordinating the activities. So, but we cannot coordinate without the support of the public.
It's a big task. It will require many hands. We know that you are still trying to get people in the mix and still encouraging people to come on board to be an enumerator. Speak to us about that, pulling people.
So, as I said, the pandemic has presented so many challenges for us, and one of those includes the dropout rate of trained staff, right? For a number of reasons, and one of the reasons being the new requirement for all the field staff to be vaccinated, at least the first dose of the vaccine. Another issue is the fact that, and this is normal because we've trained so early since August, so you would expect some attrition because basically a lot of those persons were unemployed persons, and some of them may have found employment opportunities. So we now have to train a second batch of persons to be ready for January, right? So we are encouraging persons to apply. We have opened the application again, and we made a new call for application, and the deadline for this is on the 12th of November. Person can apply through our website, which is stats.gov.gd. And if you're having any issues with that with that application, you can call the Central Statistical Office at 440-1369, and we'll ask you for your email address, and you'll be sent an email with another option for application. But the application process is also electronic. As I said, it's a digital census, so we are doing things electronic as much as possible. And at the same time, we're trying to minimize that face-to-face contact with persons having to come into the office and drop in application forms and so. So it is an easy application process. If needs be, we have persons to guide you through that process. So we are encouraging persons to please apply. We will be looking to start the training immediately after the end date for application, which is after the 12th of November.
I was just about to ask what was the deadline for the closing of applications for enumerators. Mr. President, whenever we're talking a census, most people tend to think that it's just coming around and getting information, but the information is used for, it guides national development, plans by our policymakers and even outside donors, because whenever we have to submit proposals, then we must have data to back up what we're asking for. We have to prove that we are in that situation. I know that possibly there may just be a slogan or a theme for this year's census, and just remind us of the importance of the data collected.
Yes, definitely. And our theme is nothing about us without us, because we all count. And this theme is very important because we do not want to make decisions without knowledge of person's situation, right? So we cannot, we cannot, it is difficult to plan without statistics, sound, reliable statistics, and to be able to solve our problems and also to achieve sustainable development and build resilience. So that is why the information is so critical, especially at this time where a lot of countries are going through a lot of hardship as a result of the pandemic. The census, as I normally say, is quite timely. Even though it is in the midst of a pandemic, it is quite timely that we get this information so that we can start the recovery process in a more meaningful way.
That is true. When we start in January, how long do we anticipate it will take us to get all the information that we need when we start off with the interviews? Because I know you will try to do a percentage, but it will be the lesser percentage face-to-face. Most of it you would have to conduct on the telephone. And of course, it's fluid. You may just have an opportunity to do more of the interviews traditionally, which is face-to-face. But again, that is dictated by whatever happens in the pandemic. So we continue to keep our fingers crossed. But how long do you anticipate it will take from January with the collection of the data?
Yes, and that's a good question. And I can tell you what is normal, right? So normally it would take us about 2 months, 6 weeks to 2 months to collect the information. But as you know, we're in the midst of a pandemic and we are giving ourselves enough time just in case we have to make any changes. So we are giving ourselves up to the end of April, right? So the field staff who we will be engaging, their engagement will be up to the end of April. And we are trying to be as adaptable and responsible as we possibly can, so that we can, at the end of the day, our main objective is to achieve full coverage of the country in terms of population and households, and also the information on the people and the households, and also to be very accurate and very reliable. So in a sense, a good quality census.
Great. We spoke to adapted, and COVID-19 has changed a lot of things outside of just the dates for the census and how the traditional method of collecting data. I think it would have also tweaked what we may consider to be some of the substantive questions that you were planning to ask people during it. In any way, did you have to go back to the table as to the information that may be more specific to the pandemic's real effect on our community? Did about that change?
Well, not really, because we were mindful of the pandemic in the planning process. So we included questions and we adapted some of our options. For example, in the area of employment, to speak to the impact of the pandemic. So yes, we would be able to measure the impact of the pandemic. And in terms of being able to measure the contribution of each sectors, right? This information that we collect from the census could also be compared to the past census, right? And also to our labor force surveys. So so there is some comparison pre-COVID and during COVID, right? This is because we have information pre-COVID. So Grenada in particular is an advantage because we can always do those pre and post situations and analysis.
I think as you said a while ago, it is quite an interesting time that we are conducting, that our census cycle is here now. And I think at the end of this, I'm sure that most Grenadians, we are waiting to hear the information presented from the census, as it would give us a very, very good idea as to what the pandemic would have done to us, plus even better idea as to how we move forward after it. So, Mr. Brizan, I want to give you an opportunity now to encourage the public to cooperate, because that's the only way that the census will be successful. As you said earlier, it is a national engagement. It is not dependent on just the staffers at the statistics department, nor the enumerators that will be in the field or calling you. It is heavily dependent. Its success is heavily dependent on the public's cooperation in sharing the information needed so that proper analysis can be done.
Yes, and thank you for this opportunity. Well, the population and housing census is everybody's business, and you are an important aspect to this process. Everyone counts, right? And according to the CARICOM slogan, we do not want to leave anyone behind, and this is the same. This is the same theme for the Sustainable Development Goals, because everyone, no matter who you are important to this process, and your information, it adds up. If you do not cooperate, then you are sending us a message that you do not count, right? But everyone counts in the decision-making process. You are important. So we want persons to we want this to resonate within the minds of our population, so that so that they would see the need, not just for them to participate, but also to encourage others who might be doubtful and unwilling to participate as well. Because we are trying our best to advocate and promote, but we also would encourage other persons to advocate and promote as well, because this information is relevant for not just now but also in the future, because it would go down as historical information, especially when we are planning forward and when we are doing our focus and all of these things. Right. So if you're concerned about a better future for yourself, for your family, for your children, then this is one way of ensuring that you have a better future. And it is also a requirement of every country, of most countries, I should say, to do a national population and housing census. So it is a normal practice internationally. We are now in the 2020 round of population and housing censuses, right? So most CARICOM countries are also doing the census around this time. Grenada is among the first to be going out into the field.
And in the pandemic, because with the pandemic, everybody, I'm sure, would have pushed back their dates as we had to push back a bit. But we are able to start this off, and usually we do start off well and are a model for many to follow, because I'm sure that is what will be happening. Information sharing, because we are all in the same situation. So, Mr. Brizan, it was a pleasure speaking with you this morning. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We know that we will be getting an update from you come Monday. You will be starting the actual listing, collecting information from the public. We will be looking forward. We will be looking forward to an update from you.
Yes, from Wednesday we'll be starting.
Wednesday, okay, right.
The
So
10th.
okay, great. So from Wednesday, they will be in the field. So the public, we encourage you to look. You will see people out. Please cooperate. That is all that we ask as this information. This is a different census. It's a historic one, and it would also help us chart the way better forward as we move past. We will all get past this phase of the pandemic, but it's important to understand what happened and how best we move forward. So, Mr. Brizan, again, thank you so much. An update we will get, I guess, by next month, just before we get into the actual calling part. Or if you need just a little push, encouraging the public, they may see people around and some people don't know. We can do that again, where we encourage people to know who's out there and to cooperate and share information.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're most welcome. Mr. Brizan, do have yourself a good day.
The same to you.
Okay, thank you. So we are speaking there with Director of the Statistics Department, Mr. Halim Brizan. It's Census 2021, pushed back from September 15th now to, well, it has started, the activity started yesterday, November 1, had to push back because of the spike in cases that we experienced earlier on this year, well, the latter part, just about the middle of this year, August, September, thereabout. So it begun yesterday. From next Wednesday, we'll be seeing people in the communities, in your community, coming to you asking, so what is going to be is your listing. Some of them may conduct some interviews with you. The general public is encouraged to cooperate. Please share the information. It is a national housing census, housing and population census. Please let us give the information, as that's the only way we will be able to get a good idea as to what happened. And I want to keep reiterating this. It is a historic census. It is not just the normal housing and population census. Remember, we are in a pandemic. It will give our policymakers an opportunity to be able to gauge where we are at and where we're going. It's important that we do this. Share the information. And remember, each and every enumerator has been sworn of signed to secrecy. Your information will be confidential. It would not be out there. It will be used, though, to guide our country's development. It is for the greater good. So we encourage you, we encourage all to please cooperate with the enumerators. Share the information. If you need to ask questions, I'm sure they will be able to respond with you. And remember, all the protocols will be enforced. It will be adhered to ensure that they are all safe and that you, the public, sharing information will also be safe in the process. So we encourage all to cooperate. It's just about 8 o'clock. We're going to take a quick break. It's 3 minutes past 8 already. What we're going to do is take a quick break. When we come back, we talk our under-20s are getting ready to head on out there for that competition.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business.
For your education.
For your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them for online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
Rise and shine.
Welcome back. So, in case you're just joining us, it's 6 minutes past 8 o'clock. First, we were speaking with the Director of the Statistics Department, Mr. Halim Brazan, talking census. Remember, next week, from next Wednesday, the enumerators will be in the communities, collecting telephone numbers and also conducting some interviews. The public is encouraged to cooperate. Now we're talking football. And with us this morning, our second guest, it's the PRO of the Grenada Football Association, GFA, Ms. Nisha Peters. Nisha, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We know that whenever we're talking our teams participating in competition, you will be there to give us an update. Good morning, and how are you, and how are things at the GFA?
Good morning, Oslin. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing pretty good. Hope you're doing fine as well. I'm hearing you really low still. I'm not too sure why.
Okay.
Really, really low.
All right. So our technician will work on that as we speak. You should be hearing me better. So when you do, I will know, because you will you will indicate. Nisha, our under 20 boys are out in our U20 boys. They are out to the Dominican Republic. Yes. The last time I spoke to the head coach, in preparation when they went into camp, and so it was quite an interesting conversation with him. But now we know that they have left Ireland. Speak to us about the boys leaving. When will be their first game, and our expectations as an association? Well, rather as a country.
The 20 boys, they left the island on Friday last. 20 young, energetic players, they left. They had a practice match on Sunday. They played a U18, U20 team in the Santo Domingo over there. That game drew 2-2. It was a really exciting match, I heard, and I'm sure the boys, they put out their best. I know they did put out their best. Listening to interviews from them, you can see that they're excited. They're ready to get on the field, like to play. And that was actually, I must say, that was actually the first time this bunch of players really playing together as a team, because it was very difficult putting together this team in the midst of a COVID lockdown, like you say, it's a semi-lockdown. There were no training, there was nothing going on. We just had to pre-select the team, and yeah, they made a good showing of themselves, I must say. And the coach and the coaching staff, I must say, they're very pleased with what they're seeing so far, and hopefully going forward, they could not just draw the games, but win their matches going forward.
They drew in Group 1. They are coming up against the likes. Oh, that was a practice.
The actual game starts on the 5th of this month. The first actually in the tournament starts on the 5th of this month.
Okay. In the group that they're playing, I think they're playing against teams like Curacao and others. Yes, in that group that they drew to, and these games would start on Sunday. Yes, that's the 5th, I believe.
The 5th, yes.
Good. From the games that we are preparing for, so they will continue to practice. I know they're still training and acclimatizing to the Dominican Republic. What are our expectations? Winning, we know that is what we expect them to do. But all in all, we are also mindful of our challenges, but we are going out there and give them our full support.
That is true. There are a lot of challenges, I must say. However, the coaching staff, I must say, they're very competent. And the players themselves, they're very talented. I must give them that. They're very talented. They're respectable young men. I've gotten to know them for the past couple of weeks. So, just being around them and they're very, very respectable. And I know going out there, they're going to put on a very good show. You're going to see a lot of talent coming out there, a lot of skillful players, I must say. And I know with going forward, it's just going to be experience for them. They have 2 experienced players on the team with them. That's Benjamin Etienne and Trishan Thomas, the goalkeeper. He was with this 2 was with the national team throughout the Gold Cup. So they have that experience. The younger ones have that experience with them. So they're just going to feed off that energy, I must say. And put out their best. Some of the players going into that tournament as well, they're coming out of the U14, U17 players. They're national players in there who've been out there in competition before. This is a higher level for them, so I know they're going to do very well. So they're not new to the competition, I must say. They just know it's at a different level for them.
All right. And we know that they would eventually graduate to the senior team from the U20.
That is the plan, and that is the hope of the coach, because that is just the stepping stone going forward. Because going into the Nations League, you will need players like that to go in there, mix them with our foreign-based players.
Okay, so I think now we're adopting a somewhat new strategy where we're taking them younger. So we're connecting all the dots now from grassroots, go right up to our senior team.
That is correct.
All right. Okay. I think that sounds as if in the next, let's maybe give us another 10 to 20 years as facilities and so improve, and our strategies and grooming techniques will grow.
Speaking to the coach and hearing him speak, that has always been his mandate from since day one. Groom the young assets come up into the national program, and that is his hope. To grab these young talents as early as possible and get them into the senior men's program as early as possible, so they could train with the bigger players and get that experience and that feeling and get more game times. And that is the most important thing, I believe, for him, getting them to play more games. Just playing your local competitions is one aspect of it. However, being at the international level and playing like a more organized competition, I should say, at CONCACAF and FIFA level, that is what they need. That's what the senior teams need. That's what the youth teams need as well. And that is the hope of the senior men's head coach and the U20 head coach, to get that ball rolling, more games, more playtime for them players, more experience, more exposure, get that, I should say, boost that level of confidence in them. So when they go out there, they could perform at their best.
Yes, I did get that from him when we spoke the last time on the preparation of the team for this competition. Nisha, as we speak about this, and his emphasis was on that of more games, more competition, just aligning, ensuring that our stars are well aligned, so at the end of the day, we can reap the benefits of it. Then we have to come now to the resumption of our competitions. We're talking more games, more opportunities because of course the more you play, the better you get in this sport, in any sport. So now that we have the relaxation of some of our restrictions on the pandemic, we're slowly going back to our days where things are normal. Speak to us about the resumption of competitions.
I know the competitions department, they've been meeting, they're having discussions, and it is the hope, hopefully this month, we could see the resumption of our U19 tournament that have a few more rounds to go in it. We're also hoping to finish our U13 tournament and hopefully the U15 and the Premier League. So basically right now, the main goal is for the U19 and the Premier League and the U13. Parents are still skeptical about getting the kids back out on the field because, this COVID thing just had everybody paranoid, and hopefully you could get rid of it and, get the players back out on the field and playing games and getting them back fit. So for the first 2 weeks, we're just going to give them that time to regroup themselves, train, put the teams back together. And then from the following week, see how we could structure some competitions in there.
This one is going to take, it's quite a hard sell. Safety against fun or football. This one is going to be very interesting. But I think once we keep settling down, the numbers being down, we want to ensure that don't happen. And I think with the resumption of school too, it may make it a lot easier for us to do that.
That is so, it's true. Because parents have, as I said before, I think having you bring out your 15 players and your 13 players, it takes a lot. Because they're younger. Although they understand, but yet for all they seem to just relax at time and just forget things. As there are things we have to put in place. The clubs have things they have to put in place protocol-wise, and to ensure that the safety of these players, and that is our main concern about now, ensuring that all our players remain safe and don't have another outbreak of this COVID.
we're talking safety, we're talking pandemic, and we're talking football. I know the players that have left the island to participate in that competition in the Dominican Republic, the U20 competition. There was a mandate by the GFA that the players must be vaccinated. I think you know that I was going to come to that part, because once we're talking safety and we're talking the pandemic, it is the most tested route as it relates to safety. Let's speak about that. Vaccination, the resumption of games, what this will mean. What is the GFA's position on this?
Vaccination is a very touchy topic. You know, it's just not for sports, but for every human on this. Vaccination is a topic that is very, I should say, emotional for a lot of people. However, as a sporting organization, we had to take a stand because, as I said before, safety is paramount at this point in time, and not having another outbreak because of a sport that we have in, we can't afford that. And it's the way being mandated right about now to having vaccination is the way that all sporting organizations is going at this point in time. Not only in Grenada, look at basketball, it is happening. Players must be vaccinated. If you look at the English Premier Leagues, good football going on, players must be vaccinated to play. Tennis, the players, they must be vaccinated. So for sport to continue and for football in general to continue, we have to follow that as well and continue in that spirit to have our players vaccinated. At this point in time, we are not saying, okay, all clubs, you have to have your players vaccinated. It's a must that get vaccinated. However, we're just saying that if you want to be part of the national program, if you want to be part of the U20 team, the U15 team, or the senior men's team, that is a requirement at this point in time. You ought to be vaccinated. It's not that we want to shove it down your throats or we want to make it something that is mandatory, but it's just the way we have to go at this point in time. It's not maybe perhaps an if of one day. I must say that we all will have to, it will become something mandated one day, whether we like it or not. It will be. So we just have to go with the flow at this point in time and ensure the safety of our players and make sure that we comply with whatever is whatever. And then again, too, being vaccinated as well ease up a pressure on us as an association because it avoids the long time being spent in quarantine. It's a cost to have 20-something players plus staff in quarantine, let's say for 14 days. If you're fully vaccinated, you just get to spend 2 days in quarantine. It's also ease up our traffic going into other countries because other countries are making it mandatory that you be vaccinated before you come into our country. So we have to comply. So if you want to continue taking part in competitions and taking part in FIFA competitions or CONCACAF competitions or CFU competitions, is something that we have to do. Because if you had to go to Trinidad to play a game, we must be vaccinated. If you had to go, let's say, if we had to go to Santo Domingo, their port of entry requires players to be vaccinated. So wherever we are to go right about now, we must be vaccinated. So we just have to follow suit and just go ahead and do whatever we have to do so that we could play and that our players get more game time on the field of play.
The external forces are a lot stronger than we domestically can even imagine. And that is what that is what it is. And the terms on mandatory vaccination is not necessarily, and that's what we've seen, it is not necessarily determined by us. Eventually, one way or the other, the requirements are more external than internal. So it's between a rock and a very, very hard place, as we are told. So we know it's the ending of the year. With that too will be the GFA's, the association's review of what has happened. The year has been interesting. I know it's going to be a different year of review for everyone with the pandemic, its challenges. But as I always, in the midst of times like these, so too born opportunities. Because we would see the things that we did not anticipate, the things that we did not expect to be that way. And from bad experiences always come out lessons. And when we see them that way, then they can never be detrimental to us, but rather opportunities to grow. We know that finances would always be a factor there, and your budget presentation and so is all you're about to get into that stage. Once you're reviewing, then you would have to prepare for the year to come, what your numbers look like, what's the input that you would need from others. Budgets, we know, are projections. We can get to them only if we work hard. Review, prepare. So review, plan, prepare, and then we roll out. Speak to us about your budget presentation for the year to come.
It's, as you said, plan, prepare, review. At this point in time, we're in the planning and preparing, reviewing stage of it. We have coming up, we have to meet with our clubs, that's our council members, to let them know what is needed. Our finance officer right about now, he's, I must say, one of the busiest person at this point in time trying to put together this budget presentation. That budget will be presented to the General Council on the 28th of this month. Just make sure I have that date correct. Yes, and the 27th of this month. Sorry, that's the last Saturday in this month. What can I say? A lot had happened throughout 2021. Yes, competition-wise, we were not able to accomplish all what we were supposed to accomplish. However, administrative-wise, we've been doing what is necessary to be done. Right about now, at our administrative building, we have a medical room for our players, which is a big step for us, and we're very grateful for that. We have our third floor facilities for players, just in case we have a team in, they can live here. That is something we are very proud of as well. Transportation-wise, transportation costs has been a burden on us for the longest while, and now we have our buses to transport our players to and fro from training, from games and everything, and we're very pleased about that. So I know I must say that all in all, it's been good. It's been an up and down. It's been a really up and down. Sponsorship-wise, that too has been an up and down for us. We're just trying to hold on to what we have thus far. And they understand. I must say, our sponsors, they understand as well, because they too are going through the different challenges for themselves. And they have not given up on us, and we have not given up on them, and we're very grateful for that. And hopefully when we present our budget to the council, they will see that we've been doing a good job and approve that budget for our 2022-2023 season.
Okay, that sounds like, and the association, I think, sounds, the way we prepare for national budgets is like the finance officer is like the Minister of Finance is moving. But it shows definitely the growth of the association over time, that now we do have, now there's a structure. With the structure are the personnel, and with the personnel also we must see it reflective in the games, the growth of the game over time. And as I said, in the next 10-20 years, we believe that we should be one of the islands in the region that can produce our elite. Some can present them to the world. We have had many, but the opportunities were not there then. But some of them now are guiding the process, and we are grateful. We are grateful. And we see that in the midst of the many challenges, there were blessings. So let us count the blessings and work on the challenges and how we can get past them. I think we can agree to that.
Yeah, we can.
Nisha, any parting words? We support our U20s. They play on the 5th. They play on the 5th in their first game. Who do they come up against first in that game?
On the 5th, the first game, Lord. I should have this at the top of my head, but right about now, it's really off. There is so much things going on in front of me. But I don't want to guess it. Let me get that right for you. I don't want to guess it, Austin. I certainly don't want to guess it. So let me just get that right for you. Who will be our first game in that tournament? Don't give me a minute. I know this.
So outside of the first game that they'll be playing, we also know that they would have 4 games that they'll be playing. They had the practice match already that they drew. They have another practice match today.
The Cayman Islands, they play in the Cayman Islands today.
Okay.
At a practice match. That game kicks off at 4 p.m. today. That'll be the second practice match. The first one was on Sunday. So yeah, and they continue that other practice match today.
Okay.
So hopefully they will get better results in that tournament, in that game, from being a draw, from going from a draw. Hopefully they win, and we could get that boost of spirit up to them. For the first game, we come up against Curacao. That's on the 5th. Yes, on the 5th. That's on Friday.
Okay. Yes. So we wish them all the best. We know that they will make us proud. What I will say is
St. Martin on the 5th.
St. Martin on the 5th.
And then the second match will be against Dominica on the 7th in the British Virgin Islands.
And then Curacao.
They conclude the tournament with Curacao on the 13th.
Okay. All right. All right. We're looking forward for their best. We know that they will give us their best. But if it's one thing they do know, and we want them to know, is that we will support them all the way.
That's it. All the way. You know, the Spice Boys, the younger version of the Spice Boys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wish them all the best out there. I know they're having a good time, even though they're out there for competition. They're gonna enjoy the experience because some of them, that is their first actual tournament, like first out of Ireland tournament. And no, just want to wish them all the best from myself and the association. Good luck out there, and score their goals, listen to their coaches, and win their game.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Nisha. It was a pleasure speaking with you this morning, as always, sharing information on the GFA. You will be back with us to give us an update on your General Council on the 27th, when that budget presentation and of course plans, because in budget presentations also we hear of plans for the next season. And bouncing off, having the downtime now, facing the challenges, reviewing. It means that when we come back come 2022, it's going to be football at its best, with the goal of ensuring that we get football to the stage where the admired stage of some other countries here in the Caribbean.
Most definitely.
Thank you again
so much for having me.
You're most welcome, Nisha. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Have a pleasant day. Okay, thank you. So that was Nisha Peters, Public Relations Officer of the Grenada Football Association, GFA, speaking to us about giving us an update on the team. The U20 team that left Grenada, they left last Friday, had a practice game that they drew. Will be playing another practice game today against the Cayman Islands. They play their first game on Friday, that's the 5th of November, against St. Martin. And remember, they have 4 games to play. They concluded Curacao, they play Dominica, and who was the next team? And they play St. Martin, Dominica, Curacao. They will be playing those games in that tournament out there in the Dominican Republic. So it's just about time for us to wrap up this morning. It's 8:28. So those of you who may be trying to get to work for 9 o'clock, you still have some time, but I hope you're not too far away with that halfway mark, because it's now 29 minutes past 8. Just before we conclude, let's share this morning's results from draws conducted on Monday, 1st November 2021 by the National Lotteries Authority. The winning number for the Playway midday draw is 32, symbol Dirty Water. The winning number for the Playway evening draw, 26, Yard Fowl. The winning numbers for the Daily Pick 3 midday draw, 5, 3, and 6. Winning numbers for the Daily Pick 3 evening draw, 5, 5, and 3. The winning numbers for the Daily Cash 4 midday draw, 0, 1, 6, and 6. The winning numbers for the Daily Cash 4 evening draw, 3, 4, 4, and 6. The lotto results for Monday, 1st November 2021 are as follows: 9, 15, 17, 26, and 29. The numbers again: 9, 15, 17, 26, and 29. The free ticket letter was F as in Foxtrot. There were 62 match 3 winners, paying $12, and 1 match 4 winner, paying $724. The current estimated lotto jackpot is now $88,000. Again, the current estimated jackpot is now $88,000. And that's your lottery draw. The results from draws conducted on Monday, the 1st day of November 2021. So that's where we conclude for today. It was a pleasure being here with you. On behalf of the team, Chad, Tanya, Kishan, we say thank you so much for joining us again for another Rise and Shine here on MTV and Magic FM. And before I conclude this morning, I want to use this time to extend a heartfelt condolence to the McIntosh family. Crispin, you were a gem. You were very, very pleasant. Yesterday, I know that one took a lot of us by surprise, but it's a reminder that life is precious. We should cherish every moment and every opportunity that we have to tell our loved ones that we do appreciate and love them. Let's do so, because it's basically a promissory note. Every day we wake up, when we see another day, we should be grateful. We should be very grateful, because tomorrow we are not sure on. Remember, the past is gone. Tomorrow it's a promise. Today is all we have. Do what we need to do today. And of course, don't allow the negatives of this life to weigh you down when you have an opportunity to make a difference with a positive spirit and mindset, making a difference in someone's life, helping somebody today. As I think this pandemic has also taught us that it is not promised. All we have is today. Make the best of this day. I'm your host, Ocelyn Crosby, wishing you a wonderful day. Be safe, everyone. Remember, we are not entirely out of the woods. While our numbers have gone down, let us continue to do what we need to do, adhere to the protocols, and let us continue to keep them down as we aim to, of course, get out of this 2021, get into 2022, renewed spirit, vigor, hope for another day. So, to all, a great day. With all things being the same, I'll be back here with you on Thursday, God's will, when we do this all over again. Have a great day, everyone.
Rise and shine.